Guys, welcome. And today we are going to be talking about something really important. But before then, you should know my name is Dr. Tolu from Mass Communication Department, and this channel is all about communication, especially media communication and media education in general. Make sure to subscribe to get more information about media studies, about media communication, about a lot of different things when it comes to research around media. Do subscribe to get notifications. All right, so today I am talking about intrapersonal communication. And I'll be looking at intrapersonal communication in light of media and intrapersonal communication. So, what's the relationship that exists between media communication and intrapersonal communication? Or what are the elements in intrapersonal communication that helps to enhance the act of media communication, as it were? So, let's call it Mike 101, just by my own creation. All right, so let's look at the concept of intrapersonal communication. Now, I'm going to look at this in the light of different definition. So definitions of intrapersonal communication as it relates to different authors. So Dennis looks at intrapersonal communication as focusing more on mass communication. He acknowledges that interpersonal communication is a private form of communication where individuals engage with internalized symbols, thoughts, and media stimuli to form opinion and also to form ideas. Also, Griffin highlights interpersonal communication as an internal dialogue. Internal dialogue. I want you to take note of that phrase, internal dialogue, that facilitates self awareness, decision making, forming the basis for how individuals evaluate their actions and their feelings. So it's a form of internal dialogue, internal conversation that you're having with yourself. And it's from such internal conversation that you're having with yourself, or internal dialogue that you're having with yourself, that brings about your ideas, that comes to the external space, your opinion about something, the formulation of your opinion and construction of your opinion about certain things. So it's some form of thinking within yourself about yourself, but something that is done internally. Okay. All right, let's look at Joseph's definition, which says communication that occurs within an individual. Okay, so Joseph looks at it as communication that occurs within an individual's own mind, involving thinking, involving decision making, self dialogue, that is, you're talking to yourself. You might not be saying it out, but you might be thinking about it. It's a conversation within yourself. It's a dialogue that takes place within yourself, but not the external space. And it is fundamental to the process of understanding and interpreting the world around us, because at the end of the day, it's from such interpersonal communication that you begin to create opinions, that you begin to create ideas, that you begin to have your own perception about certain things and about the world around you. So Stephen also looks at interpersonal communication as the process by which an individual engage in self-talk, internal cognitive processing, to analyze experiences, to solve problems, and make sense of the environment that is around them, or the environment around or surrounding them. So it's an internal form of dialogue and conversation that takes place within self. It could also be a form of self-discovery, because it's from your Intrapersonal communication, that you begin to have some form of self-discovery about yourself. You ask some questions about yourself. You ask some questions about things around you as well. So those are some of the definitions. But something you need to understand about the concept of understanding intrapersonal communication is that intrapersonal communication is very relevant to media communication in so many different ways. Now, if you look at interpersonal communication, it helps with social change. Remember, we talked about interpersonal communication being you having some form of internal self dialogue with yourself, because that is where you analyze things, you think about things, you think about the world around you, and you do that because it also helps with social change. It's from that communication within yourself that you begin to have conversations about within yourself about what your ideas will be, or what you think about things that are in your environment or around you. So it helps to bring some form of social change. It also helps to bring development, because that is where several ideas are drawn from for the purpose of development. You see people sit in groups and they talk about things, they talk about problems. Those ideas coming from the individuals that make up the group usually come first from their interpersonal communication. Then also from that interpersonal communication, it goes to interpersonal communication, which could be in form of when a board is sitting together to talk about something, and then you now transmit that to the media. So there's a very significant role interpersonal communication plays in group communication, in interpersonal communication, and also in media communication. Is what you're able to think about, you're able to internalize and have some form of dialogue with yourself as an individual. That is what results to the messages and the information and the form of communication and interaction and ideas that finally comes to the media, which brings about some form of development. Because remember, the media is a channel or a medium through which we pass information to a very scattered audience. All right. Okay. So the relevance of interpersonal communication also to media communication is that it brings about some form of literacy among media practitioners. It brings, because you are exchanging ideas between those that think of something like this in a different light. You're brainstorming, and for you to be brainstorming, there has been some form of form of intrapersonal communication that has taken place, or interaction that has taken place, or internal dialogue that has taken place. So I'm learning from you, you're learning from me, as a result of the fact that we have engaged with our interpersonal communication skills. And whatever is coming from there, we're having some form of external discussion in group sessions, or some form of internal interpersonal communication, which is helping you to learn and helping you to know a lot of things about media and innovations also. So we also have innovations. It brings about, in fact, interpersonal communication has brought a lot of innovations, because it's from self-thinking and self-analyzing things and dialogue within yourself that these ideas come to play, and then they become patent and wonderful innovations. Also, we have talent awareness. There's something we call self-discovery and self-awareness. It is only through the exercise of intrapersonal communication you will be able to realize, or you'll be able to come to a place of self-awareness. And self-awareness also includes you discovering your talents, okay? You discovering something you can do, you discovering your strengths and your weaknesses, and how you can work on that and also build on your strength or your talents. All right, so using your interpersonal skills, how do you use them? We can use them in forms of media production. It is through interpersonal communication and interpersonal communication skills that we have come to discover a lot of unique and wonderful media programs. Also, presentation style and branding. It is from the interpersonal communication you have with yourself or within yourself, or that self dialogue, that you begin to come up with different creative styles, presentation styles, and branding styles. It is from interpersonal communication a lot of brands have come up with a lot of different campaigns that have made significant impact in the society and has helped and has helped also to create awareness for a brand. Another thing is conceptual ideas. It gives you a lot of ideas from your own self, a concept or understanding of something that people have never experienced before. Then using your interpersonal skill. So, so it also form of media programming presentation. So it helps us to know the way we can kind of present our ideas in terms of what form the program should take. Then also abstract creation. This is where the idea of animations, avatars came to be as a result of our interpersonal communication skills. Also, programming structure. It helps us to know how to program and how to structure our programs. Writings, different styles of writings, and how to narrate stories all comes from your internal self. Also, in terms of photo editing and also editing of videos, audios, and audiovisual. So this is where our creativity actually stems from. All right, enhance your interpersonal skills. There are different ways you can enhance your interpersonal skills. You can do that through meditation. You can do that by keeping a particular journal. Journaling also helps. And then using tools to document the structure of whatever it is that you are doing can help to enhance your interpersonal skills. All right, thank you so much. Interpersonal skills are things that you should try as much as possible to develop. If you don't take out time to think internally about stuff, you probably will not have the opportunity of coming up with very, very great ideas. So enhance your interpersonal skills through meditation and enhance your interpersonal skills by having a quiet time to yourself where you get to think and do some form of self reflection, because it is how you manage, how you train, and how you use your interpersonal communication skills that brings about a lot of good, wonderful ideas. My name is Dr. Tolu. Do not forget to subscribe to this channel and learn more about media communication and media education. Thank you.